Wild west winds carried a not-so-pleasant surprise to North Texas residents last night.
Fallen ill but unsure if it's the flu or COVID? This new test has all the answers.
Of Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Stay tuned for more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Sean Smith.
And I'm Jordan Weir. If you have federal student loan debt, you might want to keep an eye on tomorrow's arguments at the Supreme Court. Two cases challenging President Biden's plan to cancel portions of that debt for millions of borrowers are being presented to the justices. CNN's Kayan Kaifa has more from Washington on what to expect.
In limbo for months, President Joe Biden's federal student loan relief plan will have a turn before the U.S. Supreme Court Tuesday. Last August, Biden unveiled a sweeping plan to forgive up to $20,000 in federal student loan debt for borrowers whose income was less than $125,000 a year.
All this means people can finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt to get on top of their rent and their utilities.
Supporters lauded the move as a big step forward to ending a college debt crisis compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Biden administration said among borrowers no longer in school, nearly 90% of relief dollars would go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. Republican critics called it political landing as the 2022 midterm elections entered the home stretch and argued writing off an estimated $430 billion in repayments should get congressional approval. In December, the Supreme Court agreed to take up two challenges to the plan, including one from 6 GOP-led states, Nebraska, Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and South Carolina, while keeping a block imposed by an appeals court last November in place. Millions of borrowers have been notified they're approved for debt relief. No debt has been canceled yet. The Biden administration's case leans on the post-9/11 HEROES Act of 2003, which granted the U.S. Secretary of Education authority to make changes to the federal student loan program during national emergencies. But the White House intends to end the COVID-19 national emergency on May 11th, which may make that argument more challenging. In Washington, I'm Kayan Kaifa.
Mass shootings on college campuses are terrifying, but very real events. This is something that is unfortunately happening more frequently, and so the need to know what to do in a situation like this is becoming important more than ever. This afternoon, UNT presented a seminar for faculty and staff on dealing with an active shooter situation on campus. Leading the workshop was UNT Police Corporal David Causey. ntTV was at the workshop and will bring you a full report tomorrow on Nightly News at 6 p.m.
Illegal street racing has been an ongoing problem for North Texas citizens and law enforcement, but it now has the attention of Texas Governor Greg Abbott and his new task force meant to address these alarming street takeovers. ntTV's Alejandra Becerra is on scene in Denton, where some recent street racing arrests were made. Alejandra?
Thanks, Sean and Jordan. Illegal street racing has become an epidemic across the state, not just in big cities, but even smaller towns. Just this past weekend, street takeovers by illegal racers led to multiple arrests in Dallas. And here in Denton, 3 were arrested Saturday night for racing. Street racing incidents have gained attention in Texas following the release of viral video depicting street takeovers in Austin, Texas. This video from last week caught national attention. A police officer was injured and several police vehicles have been damaged by the racers. Running red lights and blocking intersections pose a real danger to drivers and people who live in the neighborhoods. Governor Greg Abbott has initiated a task force in collaboration with the Texas Department of Public Safety and local authorities to investigate and prosecute those involved in these takeover incidents. This is an ongoing and potentially deadly issue, and we will follow this as the state tries to handle the problem. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Alejandra. Let's shift gears in a different direction.
The weather sure has been in overdrive recently. The Rain Man himself, Chris Goodwin, has more for us. Chris?
Thank you for that colorful introduction, Sean. Speaking of colorful, all throughout Denton, we're enjoying these nice sunny conditions. With the temperatures just being at 73 degrees, we got a nice little easy breeze going through, which is up to 3 miles per hour. I know it's far off, but I'm really getting pumped for that summer weather. I might have to start getting back into the gym. Tonight, the conditions will be clearing up. We'll be staying clear. The temperature will be dropping down to 59 degrees, but will feel like a smooth 58. Wind speeds will be picking up at 11 miles per hour. Tomorrow, the temperatures will be nice and warm, perfect for a nice little walk at just 81 miles per hour, but at 81 degrees, but will feel like 79. Wind speeds will be at 6 to 10 miles per hour. That's all I have for your first look. Make sure you stay tuned throughout the show, and I'll give you a little bit more on the full weather forecast. Back to you, Desk.
Hey, Jordan, did you hear about the renovations happening on campus?
No, I haven't.
Well, neither has many other students on campus. The Student Service Center is being renovated starting next week. Olivia Thompson is on the scene with ntTV for more information.
Thanks, Sean. We are well beyond the time of year for New Year's resolutions, but March is right around the corner, so there's no time like the present to start making some changes. So UNT is beginning its remodeling project of the Eagle Student Services Center, also known as the ESSC, on March 6th. Students and their families can look forward to a new, welcoming space of an interactive environment with unique amenities and new technology. This improved location will soon be able to allow access to financial and enrollment help as well. Monday is when renovations begin, but if you still need assistance, you can access the service windows on the first floor Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. When entering the construction zones, please be aware of your surroundings and adhere to posted signs in the building. If you still need in-person access to the offices of admissions, registrars, student financial services, financial aid and scholarships, or student accounting, your alternative route would be to enter these tall double doors right behind me to the ESSC on the west side, and that's facing the long water fountains right next to Willis Library. I'm going to enjoy my last few minutes of this beautiful sunset out here tonight, so back to you both at the desk.
Thanks, Olivia. Coming up, did you wake up to a filthy car? Well, we have the explanation after the break.
And one Denton business has a new photo op spot thanks to the community. Stay tuned for more.
Nice job, guys.
Good job,
too,
team.
Court.
Good job,
Yeah.
team.
What?
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
Last night, a big dust storm rolled into West Texas, and as you can see from this footage, the high winds brought in lots of dust to DFW. Right here, you see the heavy clouds of dust rolling through Lubbock yesterday. A lot of that dust ended up right here in DFW, which you might have noticed while getting into your car this morning. To the north, conditions resulted in several tornado outbreaks in Oklahoma that caused heavy damage to the Norman and Oklahoma City area. The severe weather missed DFW, though wind gusts were high throughout the night. This dust storm did drop the air quality and lower visibility, but has been clearing throughout the day as temperatures rise. A news report shows that cities in the mid-Atlantic and northern U.S. could get more hurricane damage in the future. This research from the First Street Foundation finds that as the planet warms, storms will be stronger and faster while pushing farther north. The report talks about how homeowners' financial loss from hurricane damages is likely to increase significantly in some places. Florida and the Gulf Coast continue to get the worst of the damage, but Charleston, South Carolina, and Georgia could also become southern hurricane hotspots. Up north, New York City could see the biggest uptick in average annual property damage. The analysis forecasts that this will affect property damage up to 30 years in the future, and that many other coastal communities will be affected.
A new round of deep snow, heavy rain, and extreme wind is in store for major parts of the community that have already been ravaged by extreme weather. CNN's Mike Valerio has more.
Holy moly.
In Norman, Oklahoma, neighborhoods battered. This Jeep flipped onto the driveway of another home. Families waking up to survey the destruction of strong winds, once expected starting in April, now here in February.
I got up and then the wind just threw me back and I'm screaming. It was like a blizzard inside the house with all the debris flying. And I was screaming for my kids, because they were in their bedrooms. I didn't know if they were hurt or anything.
Yep, look at that. Roof completely gone.
Neighbors in the aftermath describing how they survived.
A lot of real strong wind. I was standing out in the garage. My wife went to the neighbors to get in a shelter.
This is all connected to the same sweeping storm system, one that brought rare blizzard warnings to the mountains of Southern California earlier in the weekend. Then tornado threats to Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas on Sunday. Monday morning, this twister touching down in Champaign, Illinois, as the system marches east. Back on the West Coast, a new system of rain and high elevation snow pushes from the Pacific Northwest into California and the Rockies. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
ntTV will continue to monitor the ongoing severe weather and bring you updates as they develop. Dust storms, hurricanes, snow and wind, oh my.
It seems to be cloudy with a chance of everything, but to be sure, back to you, Chris Goodwin.
Yes, it seems like the weather has been pretty out of whack in Texas overall, but thankfully I think it's starting to calm down a little bit. Throughout locally, we are seeing a pretty consistent trend of weather. Graham, Stephenville, Decatur, and Fort Worth are all feeling at 73. McKinney is at 71. Dallas being the warmest is at 74. Bowie and Sulphur Springs are also at 71. Looking across regionally, we see El Paso being the coldest at 61 degrees, Austin at 79, and Houston at 79. For your 7-day forecast, we see that Wednesday we have partly cloudy conditions. The high will be 70. Thursday will probably be one of our worst days this week. It will be rainy conditions with a high of 78, followed by the next day, Friday, with sunny conditions, but a high of 59. So definitely gonna need to bundle up there. Saturday and Sunday will be warming up a little bit. Both will be partly cloudy. Saturday, the high will be 65 with a low of 37, and Sunday, the high will be 71 with a low of 53. And then on Monday, we're gonna round it out with sunny conditions, and it will also be 73 degrees again. That's all I have for your full weather. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and back to the desk.
Thanks, Chris. There's no question that February is a confusing month. Hot, cold, snow or heat. Can't really make up its mind. And to make matters worse, it's also the month that the flu and COVID make a comeback. But the federal government has just okayed a new at-home test that could help you figure out just what kind of illness you have. Is that cough the flu or is it COVID? CNN's Mandy Gaither has the details.
What the FDA says is the first time ever the green light was given to an at-home self-collected nasal swab test that can determine if you're suffering from COVID-19 or the flu in about half an hour.
You can purchase this test over the counter, where during the flu season, you have these upper respiratory systems. You don't know if it's COVID or if you don't know it's the flu. This is a great way for a person to be able to tell.
The test is able to identify a negative result for influenza A with more than 99% accuracy and a positive result with more than 90% accuracy. It's 100% accurate for negative COVID-19 samples and more than 88% accurate for positive results. There weren't enough influenza B cases for the company to do real-world testing for that strain, but in lab studies, it caught nearly 100% of negative cases.
If you have this test and you're able to say, okay, this is flu, then you can get appropriate treatment for flu, or you can help to prevent the spread of flu. As opposed to if it is COVID, you can get appropriate treatment for COVID and go into quarantine or isolation.
The company's CEO told USA Today that a U.S. price tag and release date will be announced at a later date. People who have flu or COVID-like symptoms but test negative may have a different respiratory infection and should get follow-up care. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Your paper airplane has a new milestone to beat. We'll explain later in the newscast.
We all celebrate Black History Month, but have you ever considered how it came to be? Find out right after this.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Live from UNT, it's Wheel of Culture!
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. Get ready to study abroad.
We celebrate Black History Month in February, recognizing the accomplishments and impact Black Americans have on the nation. But where did the idea come from? ntTV spoke with UNT historian Dr. Carrie Goldman about the origin of Black History Month.
In 1915, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who was a Black historian, he started an exhibition in Chicago to highlight and showcase Black excellence and success. And that same year, he established the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. In 1926, they established Black History Week. So it actually started as a week in February before it was a full month. He wanted first to ensure that Black Americans felt pride in their heritage and history, but also that all Americans had an acknowledgement for the centrality of Black contributions to U.S. history.
When it comes to doing things just a little differently, leave it to Denton to take the lead. In tonight's Seen and Heard, ntTV's Tristan Van Beem takes us to a place where you can express your artistic side along with your taste for a touch of the grape. Tristan, what have you got for us?
The
franchise business Painting with a Twist has locations all over Texas and the nation. One branch has been active in Denton for the past 20 years. Despite its unique qualities, not many people sign up for the classes. Let's take a look at what this place has to offer.
For those of you who confidently raised your hands, y'all are seen, y'all are heard, y'all are understood.
Painting with a Twist is a unique painting studio located in a small building on West Oak Street, right here in Denton. The business opened over 20 years ago, and their newest employee, Liam Castillo, enjoys providing customers with an open space and various activities.
This is fun art, not fine art. You're supposed to be enjoying your time here. You pay us not only for the learning ability to paint and to get the info for specific painting you want to do, but you also are here for entertainment. You're here to have a laugh, you're here to tell stories, you're here to enjoy yourself.
I assume the studio gained its name because of the different painting styles and atmosphere that you can feel inside the studio. But Castillo revealed the twist is something not allowed in most painting classes.
Painting with a Twist, the reason why there's a twist with it is the fact that you can bring your own alcohol and food here. We do not service our own alcohol. We do have some like mimosa days, those Sundays, but we have our guests come in and they can bring their own alcohol and stuff, so that's the twist behind it.
That's right. Painting with a Twist is one of the few businesses in Denton that allows customers to bring their own alcohol so they can get loose and enjoy a fun night out with friends. For North Texas Television, I'm Tristan Van Beem. Castillo started working at Painting with a Twist a few months ago and has fallen in love with the job ever since. He enjoys entertaining people and seeing friends come together for drinks and laughs. For ntTV Nightly News, I'm Tristan Van Beem.
Thanks, Tristan. Now, Painting with a Twist isn't the only place that locals can get the chance to show off their artistic skills and abilities.
That's right, Tristan. A local plant factory recently unveiled the paintings of 3 murals that many citizens got the chance to help out with. Our live shot reporter, Madison Myers, has more on the story about how you can get involved in this community project. Madison?
Thanks, guys. This Saturday, locals gathered here to witness the debut of 3 murals created by Alaskan artist Jess Crow. The murals honor the local plant life of North Texas, and community members were asked to help paint the murals this past weekend. The Denton Plant Factory was originally used as an equipment space here on Loop 288, but owner Simon Furman is hoping that the murals will help draw locals to the store. Now, visitors were given the opportunity to enter contests to win prizes, eat from local food trucks, and even take pictures with some of these beautiful murals like behind me. Now, if you ever want to help paint one of these murals in the future, you can visit the Denton Plant Shop from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on any Saturday. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Maddie. Art and community have always gone together, and these murals are sure to inspire growth.
Speaking of growth, the sport of baseball is seeing some changes. Sports expert Amanda herself, Amanda Bellini, has more on this and more. Amanda?
That's right, guys. That's right, guys. We'll cover everything from Brittany Griner and the WNBA to our sister university's basketball team and everything in between when we come back.
Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
Back in December, WNBA star Brittany Griner was brought back to the United States after being detained in Russia for 10 months. She said that she intended to play in the WNBA again, and as of Friday, she will be a part of the Phoenix Mercury. She was playing overseas prior to that, but spent her entire WNBA career with the Mercury, making 7 All-Star games and winning 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards and 1 NBA title in 9 total seasons. It'll be exciting for fans to see the Texas native back in the WNBA. Spring training began over the weekend, and with the new season comes new rules from Major League Baseball. The most prominent rule this year is the introduction of the pitch clock, which was created to increase the pace of play. Players will have 30 seconds to resume play between batters. Between pitches, pitchers have 15 seconds with nobody on and 20 seconds if there are runners on. Players knew that it was going to take some adjusting, but in Florida, the Boston Red Sox and Atlanta Braves saw their game end in a tie when Cal Conley of the Braves wasn't set as time expired with 2 strikes, 2 outs, and bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. So far, opinions have been mixed on whether this rule is truly beneficial, as baseball writer Jeff Passan says official game times are dropping significantly, but fans and players alike are complaining about its impact so far. This past Thursday, Texas Women's University took home the Lone Star Conference regular season title for the first time in program history. Our neighboring university took on the UT Tyler Patriots in their final game of the season. The Pioneers needed at least 1 win in a meeting against the Patriots in order to clinch the conference championship, and clinch they did in very dramatic fashion.
6 seconds left on this game clock. Gets it into Ingram, cross court to King. King gets it to Seltzer. Seltzer for 3, and she hits it for the win! The Pioneers have won the game. Jada Seltzer for 3.
Our very own Sean Smith was on the call for that game, as well as Mackenzie Freeman. It was an eventful ending to a fantastic season for the Pioneers, and we wish them the best as they prepare for the Lone Star Conference tournament this weekend in Frisco. That's all for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Amanda. A world record we've all tried was broken this week. Boeing engineers now hold the record for longest paper airplane thrown. Reporter Jeremy Roth will tell you just how far.
Remember when making paper airplanes used to land you in trouble? Well, now they could land you in the record books. Take a look at a team of young Boeing engineers who are flying high after setting the Guinness World Record for the farthest flight by a paper airplane. Boeing shared video documenting the successful attempt by the engineers, whose paper plane took 20 minutes to fold and was designed for maximum weight for greater momentum. All the paper planning, prep, and production paid off as the plane smashed the standing world record with a whopping flight distance of 290 feet. That's nearly the length of a football field. No word on what's next for the high-flying engineers, but it sure looks like the sky's the limit. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Thank you for watching ntTV Nightly News. And now for the world's shortest airplane toss, you can see me and Jordan. Ooh! Ooh! Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 here on North Texas Television.